Hi everyone, this is CY. Once again, thanks for joining me today. It has been quite some time since I updated my video. Um, Let me first share with you something that is coming up to our company. We will be moving to a larger venue because right now this showroom is a little bit too small for us. And at the moment, we have placed the deposit for a shop that is probably 5 to 6 times larger than this area. And after we have applied all the license approval, right, we'll be shifting over there. And that's pretty exciting for us because we're going to set up our commercial roaster at that location so that we can roast to supply coffee to local cafe as well as to overseas. That's our plan, right? So yeah, I've been busy looking for locations, busy applying license. Of course, my teaching term has also started, and most likely this will be the last semester that I'll be teaching because I couldn't cope with both teaching in the school as well as doing coffee part time. So it seems that my coffee business has taken over to become my full time business rather than a part time now. So anyway, this is just to let you know my recent happening and to share with you what's going on to our company. And we'd like to thank you for supporting us throughout the years and watching our YouTube videos, subscribing to our channels. We really appreciate and thank you for that. And please continue to support us, right? And for today, right, you can see on my table there's this new machine here. This is a gear pump pressure profiling machines. It's very different from our BBM Nova Super, right? The difference is it comes with an LCD. I'll bring you closer to see the machine later. It has an LCD screen which allows you to see the pressure profile in graph, and you can do manual pressure profile, and then you can record and save and replay, right? At the same time, you can monitor the flow rate, the weight of the weight of coffee that you're extracting, and things like that. So there are a lot of information you can get from this machine. And this is still not the main thing that I'm doing today. The main thing today is actually the Fiorenzato Allground grinder, right? So let me share with you something that we are doing with this grinder. So at the moment, as you can see on the Fiorenzato, right, the standard Fiorenzato comes with a hopper that is like this, right? So it's pretty much a hopper-based machine and not really designed for single dosing. But we have discovered that if I remove this hopper and if I drop the beans inside, um, we are not sure whether it has enough pressure to grind. So what happens is that since we have the DS64 lying around, and I actually remove the hopper from the DS64, and then I put it on here, right? And it fits nicely over the Fiorenzato Allground collar. And then this is a new design by my good friend Thomas, right, which actually allows you to drop beans inside the grinder, and then you can actually cover it and puff out all the remaining coffee, right? Which means to say you don't have to open up the top cover, right, to load the beans. Let me share with you the design of this, right? You can see this is the hopper. This is the bellow that comes with a standard DS64, right? And the bellow is such a way that, formally there's a cover that you put on top, and every time, when you dose coffee, right, you have to remove the cover, and then you dose coffee inside, right? And some of us remove the entire bellow, right? Right now you can see in this design, right, this completely seals off the rubber, and it fits nicely inside, so you don't ever need to remove this ever again, right? It fits really nicely, right? This is design by my good friend Thomas, right? So you can see the design fits the bellow really nicely, right? And there's a hole on top, right? And the hole is not very big because your whole palm should be able to cover this, and then you can bellow out the coffee, right? When Thomas sales link is ready, I'll make sure that I'll put the link up so that if you want to purchase, right, you can purchase directly from him, right? So right now this thing actually fits on the Fiorenzato Allground nicely, right? And now I can convert this Fiorenzato into a single dose machine. And what's so good about Fiorenzato as compared to the DS64 is, because Fiorenzato is not designed for single dosing, and many people mention that the retention of this grinder is probably 2 grams. By the way, that video has been made years ago, right? So this latest Fiorenzato Allground, they do not retain 2 grams of coffee. At the most, they retain about 0.5 grams of coffee, right? And with this bellows system, I can easily puff out the coffee, right, and produce zero retention coffee, right? So let me show you how it's usual, right? We will try to measure about 18 grams of coffee. Okay, let me get a dosing cup. Right, we'll be using our Italian roaster brand, right, from Cafe Metella Roma, right? The coffee is really good. If you like a medium dark roast, this is really good and produce really good espresso, really full of crema and delicious latte. Right, that's 17.9 gram, right? We want to see the retention of this grinder before and after bellow, right? So let's do a quick test on the Fiorenzato Allground. So this is 17.9. I'm going to dose directly into this cup. And if you look at how I load the coffee, right? So right now, because the hole is not big, so you have to load it slowly, right? And after that, put the cup here, right? Of course, this can be adjusted to go down slightly, right? This is a bit too big for that. Let me get another dosing cup. Okay, this will fit nicely below. And let's zero out this dosing cup first before you forget. Right, so now let's grind the coffee. Right now, this is the espresso grinding range. Okay, but about 10 seconds, it should have already grinded almost all. And to check that everything has been grinded, I'll use manual. You can hear that there's no more bean jumping in the burr. Right, that shows that it has almost grinded everything. So now let's do a weigh and test how much coffee has been pushing out. Right, this is about 16 grams, which means about 2 grams of coffee that's inside. And this is because there's no pressure pushing the coffee down. And remember, this is not designed for single dose. And you need you need the bean pressure in the hopper to push the bean down so that you will grind effectively. So right now what happens is I'm going to switch on and I'm going to bellow. Right, and let's weigh again. Right, that's 18.9, right? So this is not a fair test because I didn't actually clean out the grinder before. So let's do one more test, right? So let's see whether there's any retention. Let's just bellow this grinder. Right, you can see I can actually remove a little bit of coffee. Right, so let's do another 18 grams. Okay, 18.3 gram, right? Doesn't matter because we want to see, let's take out one bean. Right, 18.2. Right, never mind. Let's do just 18.3, right? Yes, 18.3 grams here. So I've already bellowed everything. And now let's do a test, right? Yes, 18.3. So now let's load the bean. Right, put the grind catcher below. Okay, let's do manual. Remember, this grinder is not designed for single dosing, right? It's about 15 grams, which means there's 3 grams of retention inside. So I think, yep, the grinder probably retains about 2 grams of coffee. So remember, you need the bean in the hopper to produce a pressure to push the coffee down, right? So right now we couldn't do that because now we have converted this to single dose. And now I'm going to bellow. Okay, let's see. Let's bellow a bit harder. About 17 grams, right? So there's still 1 gram of coffee inside. Let's see what's going on here, right? Let's put something clear. Ah, yes, there's still some coffee that's inside here. And let me see the magnetic catcher. Yeah, it's actually quite clean, and there's right. Let's do one more time. You can see there's still some coffee that's inside. Right, and let's switch on the grinder and oh, there's still coffee inside. So which means to say, yeah, I can actually blow out a lot of coffee. Oh, you can see so much coffee has actually get retained behind, right? So to make this a zero retention grinder, you probably have to bellow quite a long time. But remember, this Fiorenzato Allground is not designed for single dosing, right? Right, 18 gram exactly. So let's try one more time. Anyway, I really like the design of the new funnel plus the blower, right? Okay, let's try. 17.3, so that's about still about 0.6, 0.7 grams of coffee. Okay, so I think really the retention is about 0.5 gram, and there's a 0.5 gram which I really cannot bellow out. Let's just try our best. Yep, that's 0.5 gram, which is retained inside this Fiorenzato. So at the beginning, I mentioned that this Fiorenzato retain about 0.5 grams of coffee, and that's the reason why. Because there's just 0.5 grams of coffee which I couldn't bellow out. So yes, it is possible to convert the Fiorenzato Allground to a single dose grinder, but the retention will be higher than the DS64, right? But of course, the overall build quality and the way that the machine is structured, is a lot. The details in the grinder is a lot finer, and the precision is a lot higher than the DS64 definitely. Right. I have got the DS64E in stock right now, so I'll be doing a review of the DS64E very soon in the next video update. Right. So for today, I just want to show you, the possibility of converting the Fiorenzato Allground into a single dose grinder. But bear in mind, this grinder is not designed for single dose, but it is possible, right, with a retention of about 0.5 grams, right? It will not go as close to as DF64 to zero retention, right? Because DF64 is designed for single dosing, right? It's supposed to have low retention, right? And yep, so that's the main thing about today. And before I move on to close the video, end the video, I mean, right, let me share with you this machine that I have on my table. So before I end off the video, I would just like to introduce this machine, right? As I mentioned just now, this is the gear pump pressure profiling machine with saturated butane, 4-tip steam wand. The steam is extremely powerful, and it's a joystick kind of steam wand, so it's very nice, right? Of course, this is the hot water wand. right? To start and stop the espresso machine is engaged by this button here, or you can do by touch screen, which is possible as well. So if you see over at the LCD screen, let me bring you closer to see that. Right, so this is where you control and you can do a freestyle kind of extraction by engaging the other button, and you can see the graph coming up. And of course, with coffee loaded inside, with just a touch of the center button here, right, you're engaging your, your espresso machine, and you can see there a line there, which is trying to indicate to you about the flow rate as well as the mass of the coffee and things like that. So you can see the flow there, you can see the time, you can see the weight, and you can see the current pressure. Of course, I can go the pressure to go up by turning the dial. Listen to the hum of the gear pump. Go as high as 9, maximum is 10 bar, right? And then after that, you can reduce it and then go. You can see the graph being plotted there, and go back to 2 bar and eventually stop, right? And you can save this profile and then save this as the profile that you're going to replay this next time. You'll perform exactly the same profile. So these are very exciting machines which we would like to introduce, and we'll be using more and more of these machines, right? Um, the outlook of the machine, we are still in the process of discussing on how other, how what we can do to make this machine looks better, right? Because the function of the machine is really good. Just that we have to make this machine looks better now. Maybe a larger screen. You can let me know in the comment section down below. In what way you think we can actually improve the outlook of this machine, right? This machine is almost like a decent, right? It's a decent with a proper boilers, right? And with gear pump, and it's very stable, very powerful, right? Of course, it consumes more power, unlike the decent, but it has a similar function to decent, as in you can show the pressure profile and things like that, and you can program in whatever way you like on this grinder. And by the way, this is not the top end grinder, top end machine yet. This machine doesn't control the flow, right? There's another machine of a higher spec than this one, which allows you to do both pressure profiling and flow profiling, and that is even more promising. And that will be we will try to negotiate for my suppliers to send me a demo machines, right? So that we can actually see how the machine is different from this one. Right. So thank you for joining me today. This is Seah once again. Pretty exciting, and I have a lot of grinders and espresso machine to introduce, to line up, and I hope I have the time to make the videos, right, to show you guys what we have been doing recently, the machines that we have received. And we are now the sole distributor for another brand of grinder from Italy other than Fiorenzato, right, which is the sister company of Eureka, right? It's known as the Auto Florence, and we are their only distributor in Singapore and Malaysia. And of course, Malaysia is handled by my partners, J Coffee, right? And we are the distributor in Singapore, and I'll be reviewing their series of grinders, which is comparable to uh, the Eureka, right? So that will be coming up soon. And also we have a few quick meal models coming up. We have a quick meal Rubino in matte black color. We also have the quick meal Sunny that's lined up, and we also have a quick meal 0820, which is a small, really cute, very retro kind of espresso machine that's coming up. We are dying to show you here, right? Just that we need to find time to do all the video recording. But anyway, thanks for joining me today. This is DY. Right, do remember to subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and then ring the bell if you don't want to miss any of our videos updates, right? So thank you for joining, and I'll see you very soon.